Welcome back to more Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Last time, we did some last minute cleanup, did some bomb chew bowling, and as you can see, we made our way to the Temple of Time, where we pulled the Master Sword and got trapped for 7 years inside the Sacred Realm. There, we became an adult, now able to wield the Master Sword, as well as our Hylian shield. We've been told that Ganondorf destroyed the world while we were imprisoned. And now, we must awaken all the other sages in order to fight him. The other big thing they noted is some of our weapons as a child are now unusable. Deku sticks, the fairy slingshot, and the boomerang cannot be used. This isn't such a big deal immediately. Not having any ranged attack is kind of rough, and the Deku sticks are largely superfluous. The Master Sword does as much damage as a Deku stick, so consider it a pretty big upgrade. The other big thing, our bullet bag doesn't function, and we don't need the Goron's bracelet anymore because we're an adult. Otherwise, our bomb bag and our silver scale do carry over, as well as all of our songs and other goodies. So, with that in mind, save the game, let's head out. After all, Sheik told us to go to Kakariko Village because there's something waiting there for us. But in the meanwhile, I think it's only fitting we see just what's become of Hyrule. Yeah. Things have changed in the last 7 years. Death Mountain's cloaked by a halo of flame. The castle town is dreary and dead. Things aren't great. As you can see, the market is destroyed and filled with re-deads, and the actual castle isn't doing very well. I don't want to show that off yet, because there's nothing we can do there, but normally, whenever I play the game, I like to go there immediately. Still, we'll see it later. And what's become of our favorite guardhouse? Well, it now has this fella. Hey there. Oh, you are quite an energetic young man. You're brave and handsome, too. Your name is Link, isn't it? Don't be surprised. I can read people's minds. If I looked as good as you, I could run a different kind of business. My shop is the only ghost shop in Hyrule. Because of the great Ganondorf, it is a fine time for a business like this. Oh, I can only hope the world gets even worse. The ghosts called Poes are spirits of concentrated hatred that appear in the fields and graveyard. They hate the world. Young man, if you catch a Poe, I will pay a lot of money for it. So yeah, we now have a little sub-goal. In the fields of Hyrule, there are now 10 big Poes. We don't really have the means to collect them right this minute, but should we get all 10 of them, we will receive the 4th and final bottle from him. So it's something to keep in mind. The other big thing is the bridge has been destroyed, which is pretty darn rough. So, Hyrule is in quite rough shape. And, as you may have guessed, so is pretty much everywhere else. The world's quite different. And frankly, we're now kind of a stranger to it. Now, one thing I do want to do, as goofy as it seems, is I want to get a fair bit of money and talk to Navi. Should we believe what Sheik said and go to Kakariko Village? We certainly should, but like I said, we need a little bit of money. And unfortunately, for right now, Well, we're kind of stuck to the old-fashioned method of getting cash, cutting grass. So, yeah, it's not exactly going to be a very fast process. But otherwise, for the most part, Hyrule Field is pretty much the same. There's nothing really terribly different out here other than the fact that the large Poes can spawn. So, if you happen to see them, feel free to try to beat them, but without a ranged weapon, you're going to find yourself a hard struck to actually beat them. So, I wouldn't worry about it for right now. What I would worry about is, like I said, getting some money. And a nice sign. So generally, I like to just wait around outside, let it become nighttime, and ideally, fight the, like, it's not gonna show up. That's weird. But, normally the little skeleton guys show up, and you just fight them. But, I guess they're feeling a little shy for whatever reason. So, maybe I'll just continue looking for grass, seeing as, they just aren't showing up. Kinda weird, huh? I mean, if anything, it almost seems more peaceful out here compared to when we were a child, because at least we're not getting constantly attacked. Whatever. I think 87 rupees, it might be enough. And worst case, if it isn't, well, I'll eat my words. So, let's make it daytime, and let's go check out Lon Lon Ranch. Because as you can imagine, things have changed just about everywhere. And this is one of the more important places to make a stop at. You can do this at any point once you're an adult, so may as well come here. Because if you remember, it was owned by Talon and Malon. Nowadays, though, Ingo owns it. There are some people in Kakariko spreading rumors that I cheated Talon out of the ranch, but don't be ridiculous. That guy Talon was weak. I, the hard-working Ingo, poured so much energy into this place. I don't want any strangers like you saying anything bad about me. Listen, the great Ganondorf recognized my obvious talents and gave the ranch to me. I will raise a fine horse and win recognition from the great Ganondorf. Say, young man, do you want to ride one of my fine horses? Pay me 10 rupees and you can ride. Sure. Do you want to hear how to ride? Why not? Approach the horse quietly and stand by its side. Press A to mount up. Use the stick to make it run. Once it starts running, press A to tap it with the whip. It will speed up. When you want to jump over a fence, accelerate and hit it head on. If you try to jump over a fence at an angle, the horse won't like it and it won't jump. After the horse comes to a complete stop, press A to dismount. Now have fun. Thank you so much. So you're meant to ride this horse, but remember Epona? She's all grown up. And if you got her song, which is right here, just want to make sure I remembered how to play it there, because admittedly, it's been a moment. Should we play Epona's song, it made her friendly toward us. So come here, gal. Hiya, Epona. And now, with Epona, we can give her a little test run. She's pretty darn good. As you can see, she's pretty quick and fairly agile. Now, obviously, you can ride her around and do what you please, make some money, but what you actually want to do is after jumping some fences and getting used to her, go and talk to Ingo. When you want to dismount, stop and press A. Hey, young man, do I know you? I just felt as though I've seen you somewhere before. If you use Z targeting, you can talk to me from horseback. Are you ready to go home so soon? No, I want to ride. Tsk. When your time is up, I'll kick you out of here. So now, let's see. Want to use the targeting. No, I want to ride. Maybe let's try it again. Sometimes it's a little finicky, and luckily you can make your 10 rupees back, so it's not a big deal if it doesn't work this time. Yeah, looks like that's all there is to it. Weird. You, gonna let me do the thing? Oh, I wonder if I had to talk to him first. It's very possible. So for now, we'll say we're done. And then let's try it again. No, we don't need to listen. And now let's talk to him. Yep, I want to ride. So now we've done that. Let's play Epona's song. And then ideally, let's do the jumps again, just to make our money back. And then we will talk to him, and he should be a little bit astonished that we're riding Epona specifically, because she's such a wily horse. No one else has been able to ride her. And that should prompt him to say something like, "Ooh, let's do a race." I might be jumping the gun a little, but if I remember correctly, it should work. You're getting better. How about a little race with me? 1 lap around the corral with that horse. Let's make a little wager, say, 50 rupees. Sure. So now we get to race Ingo. And don't be alarmed, but he does cheat. What you want to do is basically try to ride the inside like he's doing, get in front of him, and then basically keep him behind you. It's a little difficult, as you can see, but the first time around isn't so bad. If you just keep up with him like that, you'll win no problem. If the great Ganondorf found out that this humiliation, how about another race? If you win, you can keep the horse. And so should you win, you'll get sent into a second, harder race. This race can be a little rough, because again, Ingo likes to cheat. So, just do your best to keep up with him. Let Epona get some carrots. And then basically, once you get to the end here, you want to just gun it. Absolutely gas it. Make sure to cut them off. You'll win no problem. What's up with that horse? Is that Epona? How did you tame that wild horse right under my nose? I was going to present that horse to the great Ganondorf, but I bet it on the race and lost. Shoot! As I promised, I'll give the horse to you. However, I'll never let you leave this ranch. Right. Now, lucky for us, we know Epona can jump. So, line her up and jump him. And by doing that, we have earned Epona, our trusty steed. Ain't she pretty? Now that we have Epona, Hyrule Field is our oyster. We're going to be able to get around here way quicker than ever before. Even backwalking isn't as fast as Epona can technically go. So, she's quite the upgrade. Notably, like I said before, you can do this at any point, even if there's a little trouble to it sometimes. So, just be patient, do your best, and you'll get her no problem. Now, the big thing is she can be summoned by calling her with her song. I mean, heck, it's called Epona's song, so go figure. Now, notably, she cannot enter towns or other area transitions. So this is pretty much the only place you're going to be able to use her, barring one exception. The entrance to Gerudo Valley. It's one of the only places you can actually take her. So, make sure you keep that in mind. I think Lake Hylia also works, but I mean, you can't take her to Castletown, you can't take her to Kakariko, you can't take her down the lake, and you can't take her into the forest. So, 2 out of 6. It's not great. It's not a great rate. But I figured I'd mention it. And here we are in Kakariko. Notably, it hasn't changed too much. There are some noticeable differences, though, including the people that are around. The other big difference is that this house was finally built. It is now a shooting gallery. So, if we ever get a way to shoot, it'll be great. Now, I want to say, Kuko lady, where's all your chickens? You lost them?
I bred a new type of miniature Kuko. I call it the pocket Kuko. I don't get goosebumps from this baby. Kukos are very good at getting lazy late risers out of bed. Haven't you heard of them before? It makes them very happy to crow, cuckoo, especially when it wakes up a very heavy sleeper. However, my Kuko's not entirely happy right now. You look like you're good at handling Kukos. Here, take this egg. After the Kuko hatches, bring it back to me after a while, and I'll check out its mood. What do you think? Will you try?
Sure. And so, we borrowed a pocket egg. A pocket Kuko will hatch from it overnight. Be sure to give it back when you're done with it. So, now that we have our lovely little pocket Kuko, we'll just wait for that to hatch. Though the actual thing we need to do with it is also here in Kakariko. For now, though, we want to go to the graveyard. Remember how Sheik told us that there's something here that'll help us progress? Turns out, it's linked to, good old Dampé. If you notice, there are pros here now, without moving the graves. Now, you could bottle this up and sell it, but I don't see the need. And, if you look here, those magic beans we planted make a little hover pad. That will bring us up here and give us access to this box, if I can roll into it accurately. There we go. And we can get a 4th piece of heart, completing another heart container. Oh, yeah. Now, if you remember the graveyard, I mean, with how much time we spent here, I hope you would, this grave is now marked. Turns out, in those 7 years of our absence, Dampé passed away. But he has something for us. Huh? Young man, are you fast on your feet? I may not look it, but I'm confident in my speed. Let's have a race. Follow me if you dare. So welcome to Dampé's race. This is required the first time through, so make sure you get good at these halls and navigating them. Dampé's a little mean in the fact that he throws fireballs at you. This is really annoying because they'll knock you down and you'll lose a whole bunch of time. Though the route he takes is always the same, so if you memorize it, it's not that bad. It's just you need to make sure you're not getting hit by his fireballs he throws. Those are rough. Now, the first time through doing this race, you really don't need to worry about speed. So long as you can follow him and keep up pretty well, you'll be fine. Though, there is eventually a rematch with him. And in order to clear that rematch, you need to beat his time of a minute. This is very difficult. As you can see, without making any major mistakes, we didn't get here in under a minute. Still, we only need to shave off about 5 seconds, which isn't terrible. The time of this race was 1:05 seconds. Young man, you were very quick to be able to keep up with me. As a reward, I'm going to give you my treasure. It's called the hook shot. Its spring-loaded chain will pull you to any spot where its hook sticks. Doesn't that sound cool? I'm sure it will help you. I live here now, so come back again sometime. I'll give you something cool. One more thing, be careful on your way back. So yeah, he at least tells you that, hey, there is another reward. And as you might guess, it's a piece of heart. But for now, let's claim our prize. The hook shot. It's a spring-loaded chain that you can cast out to hook things. You can use it to drag distant items towards you, or you can use it to pull yourself towards something. While holding C, you can aim with the stick, shoot it by releasing C. This is one of the most bread and butter items of Adult Link, and man is it one of my favorites. I think just about everyone loves the hook shot. And, what's this?
Hey, isn't that the same design that's on the Door of Time?
It sure is. In order to get rid of these blocks, we need to play the Song of Time. This is a pretty good tutorial. It teaches you that these blocks can be gotten rid of. They also can be summoned with the Song of Time. So if you ever think something needs a platform, or there's something in the way, try it out. Now remember that heart piece we got earlier as young Link? Well, turns out, this is where you're supposed to get it. Or at least, win. You pop up there, and then you simply wait here, jump across, get your piece of heart. That's the intended way. Using the boomerang is just quicker. And, hey there, guy, you seem rather mad. I'll never forget what happened on that day 7 years ago. It's all that Ocarina kid's fault. Next time he comes around here, I'm gonna mess him up. Ocarina, huh? Like this? What? You've got an ocarina! What the heck? That reminds me of that time 7 years ago. Back then, a mean kid came here and played a strange song. It messed up this windmill. I'll never forget this song. The Song of Storms. The final regular song in the game. A very useful one at that. You've learned the Song of Storms. Because now that we've played it, the windmill starts moving very fast, as you can see. And it gives you a bit of a hint. A kid 7 years ago played that song. So maybe if there's a way we can return as a child, we can play that same song. But for now, well, that's kind of all there is to it. So, let's try playing the Sun Song and seeing if we can hatch that Pocket Cuckoo. That's a pretty big thing that I really want to do right now. So now it's nighttime. And let's play it once again to make it day. And hopefully that'll hatch our little Pocket Cuckoo. Look, a chicken hatch from the egg you were incubating. It's the miracle of life. How lovely. So now that we have hatched our cute little Pocket Cuckoo, let's put him on our C buttons and bring him back. There you go. It looks like this item doesn't work here. So how's it going?
Please make my Cuckoo happy, okay?
So yeah, what she said before is a little misleading. She doesn't want you to return it right away, she wants you to make it happy by waking someone up. And wouldn't you know, that certain someone is someone we know. What in tarnation? Can't a person get a little shut-eye around here? Hey, Talon, how's it going? evidently not so good, seeing as you lost the farm.
Did you save Melon? Thanks. I'm going back to the ranch then. Yeehaw!
What? I guess we saved Malin. So yeah, apparently she's still there, and unbeknownst to us, we helped her by humiliating Ingo, and Talon's gonna go back. So, I think the game is supposed to play out like you find Talon first, and then go get Epona, but it just happened to be more convenient to do that first. So, there's your hint on to go get Epona, I guess. I did it a little out of order, but hey, no harm, no foul. Literally. Otherwise, hey, we made your Kuko happy.
Please make my Kuko happy, okay?
Can we use him on her? There we go.
Oh, your Kuko looks pretty happy. He must have awakened an extremely lazy guy. You're a good Kuko keeper. I'll give you a rare, valuable Kuko if you're interested. Its name is Kojiro, and it used to be my brother's Kuko. Its blue body is quite charming. It's so cute. Since my brother is gone, it's strange, but Kojiro has stopped crowing. Do you want to keep Kojiro?
We sure do. You returned the pocket Kuko and got Kojiro. In return, unlike other Kukos, Kojiro rarely crows. So, now that we have Kojiro, I want to say we need to go to Kakariko Forest. This is going to start a very long series of trading a whole bunch of items. It's pretty famous in most Zelda games, and as you can see, Talon has left. So, to Kakariko we go. And luckily, we have Epona with us, thank goodness. That's going to speed up a lot of things. And wouldn't you know it, having Epona is also just a pretty nice thing in general, because you can ride her everywhere, and it really does speed things up. I mean, seriously. Doing the little backwalk looks ridiculous, and I don't like doing it. Now, before we go, and trust me, I know this feels a little weird, we have the hook shot. With it, we can actually get on top of buildings' roofs, which might seem a little weird, but trust me, it's going to pay dividends. Because on top of some of these roofs, I believe there's a gold sculptula on one. I think it's this one? It's been a little while since I've done this, so forgive me if I'm not completely correct. But yep, there he is. Been sure if maybe he's not on the roof specifically, but we'll get our first sculptula as an adult. Very useful. Now, I believe there are some others that we can go find right now, but that one was pretty first and foremost. Though, remember how I said I always like to go see the castle after you become an adult? Now that we have the hook shot, I think it's a good time. Namely, if you couldn't figure it out, there's a sculptula there. So, let's mount our trusty steed. Let's get moving. I gotta say, I love Epona. She's such a great horse. And man, it's awesome that she was introduced in this game. I mean, heck, her next appearance, I think being Twilight Princess, was pretty awesome. I guess technically it was Majora's Mask, but I always lump that together with Ocarina of Time, so oopsies. But her next appearance in Majora's Mask is pretty great too. But when you see her later in Twilight Princess, man, that is so awesome. Anyways, excuse me, fellas. We've got a date at the castle, of course. And yeah, things aren't exactly great. Welcome to Ganon's castle. We won't be able to do anything here for a very, very long time, but I wanted to at least show it off and grab the sculptula. As you can see, he's put his castle above a giant pool of lava in the air. So even if you wanted to get there right now, well, you really can't. And, wouldn't you know it, there's a hidden little sculpture here. And this is the big reason I wanted to wait a minute to show it off, because we can get a sculpture token. Otherwise, there's all these boulders and a really big black rock back there, but there's nothing we can do with that for a very, very long time. So, ignore it. Forget it. Doesn't exist. Trust me. Once it does become relevant, I'll be sure to go for it, but as of right now, there's nothing you can do. So now, the next big thing we should do is go back to the Kokiri Forest. Because, I mean, look, that's where you need to go for progression. But there's also some sculptures there and some other goodies. And of course, we have Kojiro. Don't mind me, just taking a nice little stroll through the streets. Ah, hello, Epona. Thank goodness we have magical phasing technology and can just walk right through you, thanks to that cutscene. Kind of funny, but, well, it's an N64 game. What do you expect? So we'll ride on over and, well, more or less, return home. And let me tell you, the Kokiri Forest isn't doing very well. Pretty much, nowhere's doing great. I mean, Kakariko doesn't look too worse for wear, but, well, it's still not pretty. And so, Epona, sweetheart, you cannot enter the forest, so we'll, I guess, effectively park you there and head on in. Ooh, hello.
Big Deku Baba. Hit it when it lunges at you, and it will stand upright. Cut it quickly to get a Deku stick.
So yeah, as you can see, there's enemies here now. This place has really gone bad. And if you noticed when we entered, Kojiro crowed. That's to tell you that his owner is somewhere here. There's admittedly not a lot we can do here, but we can at least do our best to clear things out. And as you can see, the hookshot is a fairly competent item for taking out certain enemies. It also is very useful for reaching things you couldn't otherwise grab. Like golden Skulltula tokens. Very nice. And as you can see, there's just not a lot here for us. So, the only place we really can go is into the Kokiri Forest, which, as you can imagine, is quite dreary. That's going to be a lot of things in Hyrule, and I don't mean to, bring down the mood or anything, but until we really do something about it, things are pretty darn dire. So first things first. While we could go for the forest temple there, which we've seen as a child, Kojiro crowed again. And wouldn't you know it, here's his owner, the carpenter's son and the Kuko lady's brother. Hey, guy.
Kojiro, why? Normally only a nice guy like me can tame you. Which means you must be a nice guy. Must be. You must be. Please, Mr. Nice Guy, please. Deliver this stuff to the old hag in the potion shop in Kakariko Village. This will disappear if you take too long, so you gotta hurry.
Alright. And you got an odd mushroom. A fresh mushroom like this is sure to spoil quickly. Take it to the Kakariko potion shop quickly. So now, heat's on. We got 3 minutes to make it back to Kakariko. This is why getting Epona was very important. She is going to be nigh essential for what's coming up. Technically, you can still fulfill things with the backwards walking, but it's much easier using Epona. So seriously, go out of your way, make sure to get her, and this will be a cinch. Otherwise, Epona, right where we left you. Let's ride, gal. Now, the only big thing, watch out for the tree roots. For whatever reason, she really does not like their geometry, which, hey, I get it. We all have our preferences. But otherwise, give her some nice whips. Try to space them out a little just so she can, get some speed. And don't be afraid to really keep her moving. Otherwise, we should make it to Kakariko pretty easily. It's a big reason I wasn't terribly worried. And otherwise, slow down here. Hop on down. And then otherwise, do some backwards walking up just to save us a couple little seconds there. Not that it really matters. And then we'll find ourselves back in Kakariko. Very useful. Now, as I mentioned, the Ocarina, or not the Ocarina, my goodness, I was looking at the Ocarina icon when I said that. The hookshot can hookshot onto roofs. This is super important, not only for the Skulltula, but for getting around. I want to say, well, you're supposed to hookshot onto the roofs to actually get to the potion shop, but being the naughty players we are, we're going to take our favorite traditional route of coming up here and jumping down. So, excuse me, feller. Yeah, this guy can kind of mess you up if you're unlucky. So try to get, like, there. Oh, goodness. Yeah, Navi, I know. So, in the event that doesn't work... Oh, we can't get to that one. That's annoying. There we go. If we don't lock onto him, please stop, game. The timing is really not great. So, at this point, I would really like to backflip off, but the game is just not having it. And yeah, you even talk to him from behind. So, don't try doing that, but I wanted to show you that, the old tactics really don't work, and we need to actually go the correct way with Navi screaming at us the whole time. So yeah, it would work if the guy wasn't up there, but he unfortunately is. So we need to go this way. And I want to say, we can't really make it, and we need the Kuko. Now, unfortunately, because I messed around up there, we're not going to make it in time, which is annoying. So, you might wonder, what happens when the timer runs out? I figured, while it wasn't exactly ideal to show this off, oh no, time's up. The thing you were going to deliver has spoiled. It brings you right back, and you can restart. So, yeah. Not exactly the most ideal thing, but at the same time, we needed to end the episode, so we'll start it with me, we'll start the next episode with me delivering the mushroom. As always, I'm Brad. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.